Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It is officially the last business day of June. I personally have zero clue where this month went, but it's been crazy productive and filled with a lot of information. So, thank you guys for taking your time out to join Brandon and I today for our June town hall. We'll give everybody just a few more minutes here and we will get started. Promise we'll be very respectful of your time. But please remember, we love these town halls to be as interactive as possible. So if you have a question, you have a comment, you can just unmute yourself. You can chat it in, whatever makes you most comfortable. But we'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions, concerns as we go through all of the information we are going to touch on today.
Guys, I am unmuting you on our side. So if you want to ask a question, all you'll have to do is click on the microphone down on your toolbar. You may have to move your mouse if you've set for a minute because your toolbar will disappear. But these are topics that are going to be, you've probably seen and you've probably discussed with fellow agents. So feel free to please ask questions as we go through this. We would love to make this as interactive as possible, like Courtney just said.
Well, I say we jump right into it. These are recorded as well. So if you guys missed something, if you have to step away for a second, we understand. This will be available, I believe, on our YouTube channel. So feel free to visit that as well. But we're going to jump right in with AHIP. We're also going to touch on the DSNP SEP and some changes coming to that. We are going to touch on the Inflation Reduction Act and how that is going to affect drug costs for 2025. And then we are going to talk about what we think 2025 AEP will look like. So these are some pretty big topics that we're going to cover. Again, anybody on here, if you want to chime in, please do so. These town halls are designed for you. So any questions, comments, concerns are always welcome. With AHIP 2025. So the first day of AHIP was fun. It was a great day. It did not open at 8 a.m. as planned. I think they finally got it launched around 9:30. And the day was filled with errors. So it looked like your screen was erroring out. It looked like the modules scores weren't coming across correctly, and some people could not even get logged in. But the cool thing is, AHIP has since fixed all of those problems. So there should be no more login issues. There should be no more, basically, screen errors. They weren't real internal errors. It should be smooth sailing from here on out. And I'm going to knock on wood while I say that. But if you do have problems logging in to AHIP, they have a technical assistance 800 number. They also have a technical assistance email. Please reach out to them. Unfortunately, no FMO can help you get logged in to the actual site if it is AHIP that is throwing the error. So please keep that in mind. We'd love to help you with anything. Unfortunately, an AHIP login is not our forte. You will have to reach out to them. There are certain keys to success with AHIP, and these are pretty much static throughout the year, at least the top three are. Your quizzes are key. So if you pay attention to the quizzes, if you print screen on quizzes, if you use those as a study guide, I could almost guarantee you will pass the AHIP test without problem. You can also download the slides. So once you click into a module, at the top left-hand corner of the module, it will have a little hyperlink that says download slides. Do that. Save them to your desktop, save them to a drive on your computer, whatever works best for you. Those are searchable PDFs, and AHIP is an open book test. So if you have a question, if you're unsure of an answer in the final exam, open up your PDF, hit Control F, type in a keyword, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to pop up your answer. Also, pay attention to the names. I have a very interesting brain and memory, but those names trigger questions, and they are the same question in the quiz as they are in the test. Nothing is changing. They're not trying to trip you up with different wording from the quiz to the test. So if you see Mr. Wong in a quiz and you get Mr. Wong in a test, that answer is going to be exactly the same. So those are some keys there as well to help you find the right answer if you're second guessing yourself. This year, the most amount of information that is changing is held in Module 3 and 5. So if you have the attention span of a gnat, I absolutely understand your brain, and you want to make sure that you use that little bit of attention span and focus on modules 3 and 5. Returning AHIP users, as always, you can skip having to flip through modules 1, 2, and 3. You can go straight to the quizzes within those modules. I do suggest that you pay attention to module 3. Even though you can skip it, make sure you download those slides, read through them, and really focus on the questions within that quiz as well. Anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to talk about as far as AHIP is concerned? Has anybody been daring enough to attempt AHIP already? All right, we do have some daring people out there. Hopefully y'all had a good experience. I will say this, we get some questions from time to time about AHIP. It's real hard for us to answer a question or help you if you feel like your answer was right, but AHIP is wrong. If y'all don't read us the question as it is verbatim on the screen, trying to paraphrase AHIP questions to anybody it's not going to work for either party involved. So if you have a question, if you want some help, please make sure when you reach out to your sales development manager, myself, or Brandon, that you are reading the question as it is written for AHIP. That way we can help you in the most effective way possible. All right, next are some burning subjects here. These are all part of the 2025 final rule and the Inflation Reduction Act. So these are probably going to be where most of our questions come from. We are still gathering information. So right now I am giving you the information that we know to be true. The DSNP enrollment, the DSNP SEP will be affected. So at current, they are able to make a once per quarter change if they qualify for any level of assistance. That is going away. So all DSNP levels of assistance will be able to enroll during AEP and OEP. Only full dual, QMB plus, or Slim B plus will have additional SEPs throughout the year, and those will be monthly SEPs. It's my understanding that the reasoning behind this was so people don't have to show 2 cards, so that their coverage wasn't as confusing for them as some people would think it is right now. So they want to tie Medicare and Medicaid together as much as humanly possible, which is why only the full duals, QMB plus and Slim B plus, will have those monthly SEPs moving forward. Anybody who is just a normal QMB or a normal Slim B, they will have to make their changes during AEP or OEP. It's going to make some of you guys insanely busy during that period of time. We're going to help you as much as possible. We're going to help you with any letters that you want to send to your clients. We'll help you get events set up, whatever you guys feel like you need to do. Please let us know. Your sales development specialists are going to be there to help you through every step of the way. They'll troubleshoot with you. They'll come up with game plans with you, and we have tons of content available for you that we will tailor to you, your information, your logo, your headshots, whatever you want on it. We'll make this as simple for you as possible. But this change alone is going to increase how busy your AEP is. So anything we can do to start helping you plan now is just going to be more beneficial for you as AEP and OEP come into play. The other SEP option for all levels will be upon eligibility changes. So if their income changes, if they go down a level of eligibility, if they notch up a level of eligibility, they'll have the ability to change their plan at that time as well. Brandon, you have anything to add?
No, that really just encompasses the changes, because everything that I've been reading is keeping up, like you said, full dual QMB plus or Slim B plus, and just a lot of the articles that I've read have just been prepping, like you said, be ready. It's going to be a busy AEP because of these changes. And if you have concerns about this, like get with myself, Courtney, your sales development manager, because your beneficiaries are going to have questions about this too. And so understanding exactly what it is. And this is, I think, Courtney, you said this when you started, this is what we know as of now. As there's more things filter down from all of the changes, if anything changes, we'll definitely get that out to you as well.
Yes.
Speaking from the marketing department as well, if you need anything created, just because I know how busy we are now and how busy we're getting, if you need something, now's the time to start talking about it so that we can design it, plan it, get it created, and then you've got to get it ordered, right? So there's a lead time in that. So we don't want to wait till right before AEP starts. So if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, want anything, mocked up, those types of things, get with us as soon as possible, and we can get on that for you. But as we talk about right now with the DSNP, I don't have anything else to add on that.
Cool. Well, guys, we're going to jump over into the Inflation Reduction Act. And this is going to affect drug costs and PDP plans for 2025. So two really big changes are the out-of-pocket drug cost being capped at $2,000 and the ability for clients to opt into a payment plan. So what does this mean? Well, and we should probably start with the payment plan just because there are some bullet points to that. How a client can opt into the payment plan is, first off, they have to have one high cost drug. So that is one drug one or more drugs really, that will cost a client $600. That is not a cumulative cost. So let's say Brandon has 10 drugs and every month Brandon has to pay $600. That's not going to get him the ability to opt into a payment plan. Brandon would have to have 10 drugs with one drug costing $600 or more to be able to opt in to the payment plan. At which point, he's then able to spread his payments out throughout the rest of the year. He will pay $0 at the pharmacy, and the carrier will bill him as per his payment plan. Is that clear as mud for everybody? The other,
I think the silence there says yes.
hopefully, if not, please let me know. Give me a call after this. Most of the time we hang up from these town halls and questions pop into your mind. We'll both be available after this for questions as well.
Hey,
Um,
Courtney,
yes, sir.
I think one of the concerns that could occur is in OEP as someone moves from one plan to a new plan, and the carrier has offered them this MPPP plan, and they haven't gotten all of their payments from this individual, and they move from, let's say, WellCare to Humana, or some other combination. Is this payment plan with Medicare, or is it with the insurance company? Because if they're with WellCare and move to Humana, or Aetna to Humana, or vice versa, there's going to be some outages with that carrier on not getting all their funds.
So you're 110% correct. That is a huge concern. Being it that the carrier is the one billing for this payment plan, there's lots of liabilities out there. So if January 1 comes and you get your $600 med filled and you opt into that payment plan, and they're scheduling you out, $200 payments over the next month or the next year, I'm sorry, and you only make one payment and try to move, there are probably going to be some issues. There's probably going to be some monies owed at that point. How that looks for the carrier to recoup, I do not have those answers at this time. As soon as we get some more information on that, we will make sure to share it with you guys so you can advise your high drug cost clients as to what they would need to do if they're in that situation. But I think that's going to be a big, big learning curve for that first quarter of the year, like you mentioned.
And with the insulin being a high dollar, but they have the insulin saver, I assume that is not applicable. It would be applicable to something like Eliquis or Xarelto. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the underlying feelings behind this is you're going to see lots of increased premiums, especially on standalone prescription drug plans. You're going to see lots more costs on the deductible phase for standalone drug plans and MAPDs as well. So that's going to be some of the trickle down effects of this Inflation Reduction Act. We'll learn a lot more as true first looks come out and not these little teasers that some of the carriers are releasing. Don't get me wrong, they're great information. The more information we can get, the earlier we can get it, the better off we are. But we need to see real plan costs to know what's going on, to know how many clients are affected. But just by looking at this, if you kind of start composing a list of your clients who are on a med sup with a standalone drug plan, I would make sure that you start to try to figure out what type of communication you want to cascade to those people. I think those are going to be the ones who are most affected. They're going to see their cost rise on the premium portion, and they're going to see that deductible phase be a lot more cumbersome. And you're going to see some different formulary tierings as well. So those are the things to watch out for, because we all know if it looks too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. They're going to make it up somewhere way along the path there. We did also partner with the Canadian Med Store. So clients who are still having a hard time affording their drugs, take a look at the Canadian Med Store. It is not a replacement for a prescription drug plan. It is not a replacement for an MAPD plan. You don't want to put somebody on an MA only plan knowing that they're going to get their drugs from the Canadian med stores. It's not the way to go, but it's a great option for people who have some high cost drugs and they're not able to afford them. It lowers the cost exponentially on some of the drugs. Xarelto being one of those. So take a look at them. If you want some more information, please reach out to your sales development specialist. They have the contact information. They have the price sheets as well for drugs that would be beneficial for clients to get through that Canadian med store.
And Courtney, we also have, they were on last month's town hall. We have that video. You can hear from both representatives on last month's town hall. That's on our YouTube channel, which it was posted end of last month.
Yeah. And there's also advanced diabetic supplies were on that as well. So two really good ancillary partnerships that you guys could really help your clients with. Miss Kathy, I see your question there. If people decide to drop PDP plans, if they're not picking up an MAPD to when they drop a PDP plan, they're opening themselves up to some risk as far as a penalty moving forward if they do decide to pick up a drug plan or an MAPD down the road. Outside of that, it's just kind of like rolling the dice, right? Like if somebody's on no meds and they don't want to pay a premium for a prescription drug plan, and they also don't want to get on an MAPD plan, is it worth taking that chance for that client? I don't know. So I think you're going to have to help your clients make some pretty hard decisions as far as what is going to be best for their particular situation. But I think that question right there is something you will be talking a lot with all of your clients.
Well, that's what I thought. I just know people, even some that are paying the higher premiums now. I mean, $100 a month in premium, if those are going to go up, there's going to be a lot of resistance.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Especially if some of the formulary changes drop meds that they were paying that premium for to begin with. So those are all things that we are cautiously looking at and trying to make sure we stay on top of to the best of our ability. Formularies for a long time have kind of been Advantage plans ways of underwriting the type of client that they want. And I think we're going to see that a lot more in the future. Those actuarials are going to tighten up costs through their formularies.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Brandon. Well, if you want to jump to the next slide here, we'll start talking about what AEP 2025 is going to look like. And I'm going to be as optimistic as I possibly can. It's going to be an insanely busy AEP, but it is going to come with so many opportunities. We, as an FMO, have what I consider to be some of the most quality and qualified agents out there. You guys take care of your clients unlike most agents out there. So we really appreciate that. And because of that, it opens up a ton of opportunity for you. Carriers are going to modify plans. They're going to change their coverage areas. It's going to lead off with premium changes, MOOP changes, drug deductibles, and it's going to cause a lot of clients to have a lot of questions. And I think that's where our agents, you guys, and sorry, my dog is napping in the background and clearly having a dream. So we're going to try to ignore that noise and that bark. But this is where you guys are really going to be able to use your talents in your care for your clients to really help them out and help other people's clients out as well, because there are a ton of agents out there who don't pay attention to their clients, who aren't trying to help them. There are tons of clients out there that enrolled with a call center agent who they've never heard from again, who they never will hear from again, who probably doesn't even have that job anymore. These are all opportunities for you guys. The best way to capitalize on this is start making plans for your communication to your current clients now. That is really going to be key. As soon as these first looks come out, please get in touch with your sales development specialist, myself, Rachel, Brandon, Heather. Any of us are going to be more than happy to help you come up with a plan of attack to reach as many people as humanly possible. And that's where you're going to be able to capitalize on all these opportunities. It will be busy. There's no doubt about that. But I think that all of you on this call, all of you who aren't able to make this call and might be watching the recording, you guys are going to be the agents who really affect positive change during what people are considering to be a kind of crazy AEP. And we're going to try to make this as easy for you as possible.
You know,
Are there
Courtney,
any?
you
Go
said
ahead.
something a second ago about beneficiaries that enrolled through a call center. That's still going to be out there. And I don't want to say they prey on people, but I'll say they prey on people, especially with all of these changes that are coming and that we've talked about today and that we're going to find out more about once True First Looks come out. There's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of concern. Ms. Kathy, you mentioned a minute ago, pushback if there's not deductible, premium increases. And what Courtney's saying now, you guys being the helper for those beneficiaries, for other people's beneficiaries, even for those beneficiaries that got roped into call center enrollments, that's going to be a big deal. And the opportunity for this AEP to be probably the best that you've had yet, that's out there. And that's what we want to help you with here at National Contracting Center any way we can, whether it's talking through plans or, talking strategy or getting you marketing materials created, social media posts, ideas, those types of things. Look, we would love to help any way we can to make sure that you are set up for success for this AEP, because it is going to be, I think, from everything that I'm seeing and hearing and watching everything change, it's going to be the opportunity to have a great AEP is going to be there if you look at it as a great opportunity. There's a lot of agents out there that are not looking at this as a great opportunity and just like, oh, here's more, more changes or more regulation. And they're sitting on their book and not really going after their clients. I'm not saying go poach other people's clients, but I'm saying be a helper, and that will draw people to you for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard I was at a Devoted rollout, which, by the way, crazy big expansion for 2025 with Devoted, especially in the Georgia market. But the rollout meeting in Tennessee yesterday, in Knoxville, Tennessee, one of the broker managers there said, be your own walking billboard. And Brandon, that's kind of going to segue us into the next slide. But I love that idea. And I've always been a proponent. Nope, I lied. If you want to jump one more ahead, we'll kind of go out of order here.
All right.
But I've
We'll
always
get there.
loved that idea. It just a little button that says, ask me about Medicare, a t-shirt that says I can answer your Medicare questions, anything to kind of poke people to ask you questions about their Medicare coverage when you're in a line at a grocery store, when you're sitting there at your kids' baseball, softball, football games, whatever it might be. letting people know that you're there to help is going to be huge this year. Become your own walking billboard. If you want a t-shirt made, let us know. We'll figure out how to get it done for you. We can order them from Vistaprint. We can order them. I'm sure Samantha Reese has a million different vendors that we can utilize for anything to help you guys help other people. That's really going to be key to making this AEP insanely successful for you guys, because there are so many people out there with so many questions that don't have anybody to ask them to. You guys can be that person. And then the same aspect, communicate with your clients early and often. Let them know that you're there. Let them know that you know that there are changes coming up and you're going to continue to communicate with them. That's huge. Having that personal touch, having your clients' mind at ease, knowing that you're already ahead of the game, you're already letting them know what's potentially coming up on the horizon for them, that really gives somebody peace of mind, and knowing that they're dealing with an agent who's very caring. And that, again, is what sets a lot of you apart. We have done this throughout the year. We suggest that you do this as well, but diversify your offerings. I'm not saying, start selling only ACA or start selling only life insurance. That's the exact opposite of what I'm saying, but offer more products. That is just really going to help your clients out. If we see a rise in cost on hospital stays, hospital indemnities, the perfect offering for that. If we see, drug costs skyrocket, then a partnership with the Canadian Med Store makes sense. Just kind of keep your ears and your eyes open to what you can potentially add to what you're already offering. Life insurance, we've kind of glazed over that for years for a multitude of reasons, but I think the general population has also done the same thing. So some of those smaller, I hate to call them final expense policies, but that's exactly what they are. But those $10,000 or less policies can mean the world to a family in a bad situation. So just making sure that your client actually has a life policy in place could be insanely beneficial to your clientele. This is a big one. Pay attention to market disruptions. I don't have any insight as to exactly what they'll be and where they'll be, but they're going to be out there. And as these first looks come out, we're going to try to make you guys as aware as humanly possible. But this is going to be a big one for this year. Pay attention to the market disruptions and certify early. Get all the Brandon, I'm at a loss for words. What am I looking for? Get all the testing out of the way. Get all your admin stuff out of the way as early as possible so that you can focus on the communication and the questions that your clients have. We also suggest that you set up events. As a matter of fact, we are running a contest for July. And if you are doing an event, please take a picture, send it to your sales development manager, and they will get you entered into a raffle. Unfortunately, I don't remember what you're going to win, but it's pretty cool. To win anything is definitely a nice little way to put a smile on your face. So if you're doing events already, please send us a picture. We'll get you entered into that raffle. I think it's a great way just to kind of get yourself pepped up a little bit moving into AEP. Another option is to partner with businesses, local businesses in the area. If you help them, they're going to help you. It's a win-win partnership. Financial advisors help a lot of MedSup clients. What does that mean? That means that they probably have a standalone drug plan, and that means that they're probably going to have some questions, or they might have some issues with the price increases. So that would be a great partnership. Dental offices, fantastic partnership. You guys know your local senior centers, food banks, anything like that. Get a partnership, make it a win-win for both of you guys, and it will be a lead source that will continue to feed you moving forward. And then, of course, get organized. Make your cheat sheets, guys. Cheat sheets are going to be key. I'm sure our sales development managers will be rolling them out throughout this entire lead up to AEP. We have tons of ancillary product cheat sheets. It will compare each company's hospital indemnity, cancer plans, short-term home health care plans, dental plans. I think those are the four major ones that I have available right now. If you want those cheat sheets, let us know. Myself, Brandon, any member of the staff at NCC can send those out to you at any point. But those cheat sheets are going to be key just to kind of give you a one-pager at a glance so that you're not searching for information and you can get much more comfortable with the changes and new products coming up as possible. Brandon, anything to add?
Just go back to your certify early and get all of your administrative stuff done early. We see it every year that some agents wait till right before AEP to try to get through all their certifications, try to get through AHIP. Kudos to those of you that have already done AHIP in the first week. That's awesome. Get all that stuff done so that, like Courtney said, you can focus on getting the answers for the questions your clients are going to have, because that's going to be key. You don't want that administrative stuff to pile up on you as AEP gets here. So that would be my biggest takeaway from this slide, would be to certify it early, and then also to communicate with your clients. Start now. I know I got not pushback, but had a discussion the other day with an agent when I mentioned communicate AEP to their clients now. I mean, we're just about to be in July, and that was the pushback. We're just about to be in July. Look, but think about how quick this year has gone. We're halfway through this year. We just had New Year's like yesterday, seems like. AEP will be here before you know it. And so you want to get out in front of this. So communicate. And it doesn't have to be about AEP. It could just be communicating with telling what's going on with you, or what's going on with your agency. Or, if you have a monthly newsletter, just sending that out to stay in front of them, but making sure your name is out there. I guess that segues into being the walking billboard you talked about, right? Making sure that when a beneficiary has a question, they think of you and is like, oh, I need to go to Brandon. I need to go to Kathy. I need to go to David. They think of you when they think Medicare, and that way they don't succumb to the Joe Namath or the JJ Walkers or William Shatners of the world, right? So that's all I would take away from this slide, Courtney.
Yeah, thank you for that. Guys, communication, that's going to be key for you as well. And we are definitely dedicated to communicating with you as much as possible. Two things that I'm going to suggest is make sure that you're receiving our emails. That's going to be key to staying aware of some of the changes that are going on. And also, I would suggest opting in to our text notifications. We promise we're not going to blow up your phone on a consistent basis. But if there is a major change, if there's a huge market disruption, if there's, a carrier who decides to make an exit for any reason, those are things that we would text out as well as email, so that it's a much more right in front of your face notification. So please make sure that you've opted in to everything possible as far as communication. We'll be making phone calls as well, but those big emails, those big text chains, those are going to be key for quick mass communication while you're waiting on a phone call from your sales development specialist. So just be aware of that. And Brandon, if you can bounce back one slide, this is kind of key to making your cheat sheets, right? Go to the carrier in FMO rollout events. Our rollout events will encompass multiple carriers in one location, and some of them are going to be live streamed. So if you can't make it, we understand. We'd love to have you in person more than anything. But we are going to live stream some of those events. With that said, it's still going to be better if you're in person. And if for some reason you can't make that event and you can't get to the live stream, go to the carrier specific rollout events. That's where they're going to get into the nitty gritty of their plan options. Those are going to fuel your cheat sheets, and that's what's going to allow you to cascade that early information out to your clients as quickly as possible. So just some helpful hints there, because it's going to be a year full of changes. I think that's going to lead to a year full of opportunities, and we want to make sure that you're able to capitalize on those opportunities, that you're not driving yourself crazy, maybe just a little bit crazy, but not crazy. We're going to be here to help you along the way. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're going to hang out on this call for a while because we would love to hear any questions, comments, concerns that you have. But if you don't want to voice anything on this call, we understand. Please give us a call, send us an email, whatever you would like to do. We're here to help. We want to make life as simple for you as possible while you're being as productive as possible. So anything that you guys would like to talk about, we are open.
So as the call started, I got a call from a prospect about him receiving a letter from Cigna about a transition to Medco.
Yeah.
And it was I assume that's a purchase. Is that purchase like what happened with the CVS purchase of Aetna, that he has a free look to go, not a free look, but a QI look of any supplement based on Cigna being sold?
So that is a great question. And a lot of the confusion is coming because Medco and Medico are very close and very similar. Medico actually became Wellaby about probably almost 3 years ago now. But Medco is actually a subsidiary of Cigna. So it is not a purchase. It
Okay.
is a new open block of business. So I believe it's Chillick that it's replacing, the Cigna Health and Life Insurance Company. I think those are the policies that it is replacing. So he does have an option to guarantee issue onto a Medco product instead of that Chillick product, which is now a closed book of business. So in the MedSup world, that means that those prices are just going to continue to go up because the healthy new people are not able to get on that Chillick block of business. Medco, that Cigna subsidiary, is not currently accepting new business outside of this migration that they're offering to clients, but they will at some point. That's my understanding. And that would keep those rates a little bit more level for those clients for a longer period of time.
Hopefully.
Yes, I knocked on wood, but I then realized you couldn't see me. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, but he doesn't have an option to go to another supplement because Medco is a subsidiary of Cigna.
Correct. It's not a purchase. It's just a move.
Okay. And it would be wiser for him to move there because there's the potential that they'll open up this new pool for new clients, where the one that he would go to is not going to add any new users or new clients.
If that was my client, that's what I would suggest.
Yep. Okay.
Just to give you a quick teaser, on the 17th of July will be our Wisdom Wednesday. That is going to be in conjunction with Bankers Fidelity, which is a new carrier that we have picked up in the last few months. We've actually added about a dozen carriers here in the last 90 days. So if you're not aware of some of the carriers that we have added, we've added new med sup companies, we've added new life carriers, we've added new ACA carriers. So please be in touch with your sales development specialist. If you don't feel like talking and you'd rather look on our website, all of our new carriers are available on the website as well. But our Wisdom Wednesdays are going to be chocked full of new carriers talking about their plans. And then our town hall next month is going to involve our compliance team. And that is hopefully going to do a deeper dive into some of the final rule items, assuming we have some more detailed answers about them. But our compliance staff will be on next month's town hall. Brandon is showing you our event calendar and how you can register for those events in advance. But please keep checking on this event calendar. Our in-person events will be located on here. Our virtual events and trainings will be located here as well. So this event calendar is going to fill up and fill up quickly as we get closer to AEP. But please go on and register as you will. Keep in mind, some of these items are recorded, housed somewhere in the YouTube world. So if you can't make it, don't stress out about it too much. Just get in touch with us and we'll send you a link to that recording. So Jonathan, the life tools for quoting multiple carriers, our quick quote tool on our website will quote life insurance. I say that with a good bit of hesitation because it's crazy hard to do a mass quote for life insurance with good accuracy. So it will give you a guide as to what carrier might be the most cost effective for your client. But how that carrier underwrites is really going to be the key. So if you would want to use that as a guide and then go to the carrier website and do like a pre-underwriting to see if the client will be rated, that would be my suggestion. But the quick quote on our website does quote life insurance. Well, again, we really do appreciate everything that you guys do. Hopefully we can make your lives and your jobs a little bit more simple. So please reach out to us with anything that you need. As always, we appreciate you and we look forward to hearing from you soon. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.